to say 2 o'clock. To be honest.
No, there's like one.
With the Iris would be.
Do I have to do a couch?
I don't know if she likes.
Come on, you. This way. I'll be back in maybe like an hour from five. Sean's. Actually, that's what we've. We don't need like 20 weeks of
Answer that. The second one.
Well, look, you stand in line. No. Thank you. Make sure that people know how. Well, initially I need to teach them how to proper tackle.
I'm using what?
Wash the streets.
I does, did he? He came out there and he missed it to walk straight. Let's go eat then.
It's so many now. That's a nice one.
I'll just leave you in the lodge, alright? Alright, I'll see you in a bit then. Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want a cup of tea? Alright then. Alright, I'll leave it in the lodge. Alright mate, cheers. Hello. Hello, can I help you? Hello. Excuse me, hello. I come to the university.
Wouldn't to be that.
I drop Margaret. Thanks. Can you do me a favour? Taking that, yeah.
see any reason why you wouldn't have put that up to be fair.